Hey guys, welcome back to Landscape Alert, where this week we are going to be doing the breakdown of the landscape that you just saw. So if you are new to this channel, we talk about design for landscape and how you can get some ideas for your future project. And the idea behind this is to have a plan and you can execute from that plan. In fact, our saying here is dream, design, create. And with that being said, let's talk about what we are doing in this specific design. I should add that the front yard, I discussed that in more detail in last week's video. So now that we kind of have that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about what you are seeing here in the plan. So generally for my designs, I like to put a ground cover legend, which more or less tells you what you are going to be using for your materials. From there on one other side, I'll give you the measurements and quantities for said materials. And then at the bottom part, I will put the trees and shrubs that you are going to be using for your design. The reason why you want to do that is so if somebody else is helping you, you can give them a copy of this and they know where to go from here. Are they going to get the shrubs for you or the trees? Are they going to get the material for you, and so forth and so on? That way, they don't have to give you a call every single time that they're looking for material. They know where to get it or how much to get it, and they can execute this even faster or smoother. With that being said, I already mentioned that this front area here was discussed in last week's video, so we are not going to talk too much about it, but we are going to be breaking down more the backyard in this case. So some of the ideas that the homeowners wanted for this area were essentially three main areas. One, they want an area for themselves, the grown-ups, to kind of hang around, which is what we did. We created an area here, a patio with a bench sitting area so they can enjoy their afternoons. And also that came with a fire pit, a natural gas fire pit, I should add. The other one was for them to have an area for to plant vegetables and that type of thing. And the last thing that they wanted was an area for the kids to play in the backyard. And for that, we made a good area of sod for them to play around. At the same time, we fenced in the backyard so for the pets, so they would not be able to get out. And this is kind of the area where we have it. I'm putting some lines here. I know my lines are not being super straight, but the idea is the same, that this backyard was going to be fenced in. So now that you kind of have the overall ideas as to what we're coming with, one of the things that I want to do when I was doing this design is to get the area that was going to work the best for them. And this right here area on the right side is where I thought it was going to fit the best for them for a few reasons. One, had more access for view for them for the mountains, which was more in this area this way. The other one was that the gas for the house was right here, and that made it very simple or easier for the lines to get trenched in and come out right here, versus if they decided that they wanted this area to be here, which you can still do, there's nothing wrong with that by no means, but that did include a bit more of labor for whoever was going to install the fire pit there. And at the same time, from this point here, the view was more limited because of the homes that were in the back behind this property. So this made it a little easier for them to have a patio, enjoy it as much as possible. Now they do have neighbors on the sides and also the back, but the good thing about this specific property is that in the backyard they have about 40 feet of what they call open space, which means that there's a trail and a few trees, native grass and so forth and so on, which didn't really impede them to see it. But at the same time, the view was limited from the ground versus the deck. And so if they wanted to see the mountains, they want to kind of enjoy their patio backyard, this was going to be the best one for that purpose. Now in terms of sod, once I figure out where we wanted to have the patio, from there on, we can also decide how much grass we wanted. Now, they didn't want a ton of it or a lot of work for maintenance, hence the reason why we left it this side. At one point, they decided that they want to have this, and if eventually they want to have even less maintenance, they will turn this area into synthetic turf. So we left it more long than it is wide, for that same reason there. If they want to do it in a few years from now, they can. And for the planter bed, we wanted to use this area, literally utilize the space so nothing was wasted. So that's where we put this area for a planter bed. At the same time, we did leave 3 feet of space from where you have the area for planting, so water would not touch the foundation. And we also did a little wall for the AC units, which would also make them to where you'd have a real nice area for them to plant things. We also added some stepping stones for easy access. In terms of trees and shrubs and so forth, we did add a few evergreens in the back, some Baker Eye blue spruce. We also added some apples. There's a few different range of apples that you can use, and that's going to be depending on what you want, if you wanted that. But for them, they wanted apples, so we did put 2 for this area, and the reason was because they need to cross-pollinate, so they got 2 different kinds for their backyard. Also, some lilacs and some cotoneasters, among a few other shrubs. At the same time, in the back, they asked us to install a gate so they can have easy access from when they're sitting down to go to the backyard. Earlier I mentioned how they have an open space right there, and you can see how you input right there, open space, which allow them to have easy access to get out or get in from that area. Now, because it is fenced, it makes it better for the kids and dogs to stay in, but if they want to get out, go towards the back or the front, they have that access there as well. And this is the backyard. Now, what do you think about this? Are there any ideas here that you would use for your own landscape design? I always put pictures on the side just to give you a reference as to what I've done in the past and what I want to do in this specific project. So this right here, one of the pictures here, it's mainly for what we want to do with this area over here, and then the other picture was what we want to do with this area over here. But that's kind of what I like to do for my designs. I like to add pictures, sometimes even renderings, but in this case I wanted to show you what this design was, this plan. So let me know if any of this is useful for you, or if you are working in your own landscape design. You could always reach us over on Instagram or TikTok at Landscape Allure. We'll see it right here on the screen what that is. And as I mentioned before, the motto here is Dream, Design, Create. So have that in mind when you are doing your own design. With this, I hope that this will give you some ideas, and also please don't forget to do all that user stuff that we asked you. Subscribe and like. This does help me to reach other people that are thinking of doing their own landscape, or maybe even remodeling their landscape, to have some good ideas and things that they should think about when they are doing their landscape. If you like any of this, put in the comments below and let me know what trees you like for your yards. Anyways guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.